All right, welcome into today's show. I'm your host, Kurt Mueller, joined by Jason Hernandez. He's coming to us out of California. I think he said Bloomington. Is that right?
Yeah, Bloomington, California.
Bloomington, California. Well, Jason, welcome to the Barbecue Life. So we always like to start with journey and how people got to where they are in this crazy world of barbecue. Tell us about your journey and how you got started in all this.
Well, my journey started off about 20 years ago, being a troubled youth and everything that, I caught myself up in the system to where I did 6 months in county jail. And there I got into a program for the regional occupational program to help people. And they had a culinary arts certificate that you could go for. It takes 6 months to go in there. Now, with that, you work 12-hour days, 7 days a week, and you basically did the officer's dining room, which was ODR. And I didn't realize it then or realize the significance of why I was in there or what happened, and didn't really kind of get it until years later, So fast forward to that, I got the certificate till now that I decided I was barbecuing a lot at the house and for friends. And so the journey started on a friend like, hey, on Instagram, a lot of people are, doing Mexican food out of their house and stuff like that. So my friend Manny, he kind of was like, hey, you should do a pop-up. So about 8 years ago, I did a pop-up and started with that. We did a tri-tip and chicken just out of the house, the wife helping me and everything else. And I think we made like $200 that day or something. But, it was the catalyst to kind of say where we are now. This was my first year to where we got the BigJsSoCalBbq. I went to the Small Business Development Center and I said, hey, I've been doing barbecue, but I want to have it legit. I want to do catering in the Small Business Development Center in Inland Empire. Help me just follow the bouncing ball to where, you meet with this counselor guy and he helps you. By the time at the end, I had a full legit business, JH Mission Investments LLC, to where the business name BigJsSoCalBbq came. And we really hit it good this year. If you got a second, I could tell some of the great events that we did. We did
Sure.
The Riverside Chamber of Commerce, the ribbon cutting ceremony. We did the radio station out here. We did 4 of their events. The big parking lot KCal Kagers for 96.7 FM out here is the big radio rock station that we have. And all thanks to those guys, they helped me, put together a platform to where I could showcase my barbecue to the masses. We just done the ribbon cutting ceremony for the entrepreneurship of San Bernardino, a resource center. And we got an up and coming one for Arcadia Rotary Club. So we actually hit some awesome events this year and just getting into the barbecue. And next year, we're going to hit the barbecue contest scene and get some local contests going on to kind of, see if I could get those accolades.
That's right. And so how long have you been doing this, professionally, after you met with the SBDC? So is this a couple of years ago? Because it seems like it's pretty recent.
It's pretty recent. It was at the beginning. At the end of maybe last year, I started kind of hooking up with them to where I was flying under the radar, didn't really have a kitchen I was out of or nothing like that. And so now they put me in that position about a year ago to where I do have a place to where we go to the commercial kitchen, you kind of buy hours there or whatever. And then, you do, but it doesn't really work for me because I do barbecue. And if you're a regular restaurant, it would kind of be, okay, but I got a barbecue trailer, smokers and all like that, do my brisket, which will take, 12 hours to do. You can't do that there. So, we're dealing with the struggles, kind of figuring that all out. But 1 year, I think about a year, we're growing pretty strong this year.
That's awesome. So about a year in, and it sounds like you've experienced a lot of great growth, and you're clicking on, maybe not clicking on 8 cylinders, but you're clicking on a lot of cylinders, right? And I think that's a great message for a lot of the folks that support our show. I just, hearing from someone that, started basically, out of their house, a friend said, hey, you need to have a pop-up, and here you are. So tell us about that though, that, just the mindset wise, when you had that shift, right? So when you went from, basically doing it for fun to the pop-up to, now you're basically you're an LLC, you've got a legit business. Tell us about that mindset shift as you made those progressions.
It was definitely a growing experience, and for it started with the pop-ups, and we're doing them out of the house, certain plates, friends and family would come, and I said, okay, we could kind of do this, to where we started with the taco cart, and we did the Cali, the tacos and the carne asada and all the chicken and that stuff and the birria, and so we did that, and then it kind of, but barbecue was my passion, I just see it was a way to make money for the catering. But then the on-site barbecue and cooking at home was kind of where I wanted to get into. And, the TV shows had a lot to play with that. And I'd learn little secrets and tips through that, and then research through friends, and then trial and error, and seeing how kind of some other cooks, they were just, doing their backyard stuff. So it progressed over a couple of years to where, I didn't make okay money, but I made a little bit, and everybody has their struggles, and then you got to buy equipment and reinvest in itself, to where it finally came to a catalyst to where there was moments I didn't make no money, but I paid the people that helped me and paid for the food. And I think that showed them, the people that I worked with, like, hey, he's really dedicated to this. And I kind of seen that, where I would tell people, like, I didn't make $1 from this, but everybody else got paid here, So that kind of, we paid our dues. And then finally, when I just was cruising by, I just seen the Small Business Development Center. I said, you know what? I'm going to give them a call and say, hey, I want to start a business. What do I do? I'm doing this, but I was doing it under the radar. I want to do it legit. And the way they helped me is every 2 weeks, you talk to a counselor, and he puts you with an expert in the field. And this guy Jay Elias was an awesome guy who taught me. He was worked under Michelin chefs and everything else. But he was the one who was more of a counselor, saying, hey, this is what you do. You got your IRS number 1 week. The next 2 weeks, we got our seller's permit. And by the end of it all, I was like, no way, I'm actually a business. Wow, this is it. We're legit, where I got the business, the card now, and it's only through there that I make my transactions, not coming out of my own pocket no more, And so that's where we're at today. And we've really been blessed with some awesome events, to where, it's just not, some party at the end, which I love to do, and just to be a part of events was one of the main things too, because when we do barbecue, it's for someone's birthday or an employee appreciation or certain events like that are something you kind of want to be a part of and are positive, and that was awesome.
So where can folks connect with you? I know you're Big J SoCal BBQ, Bloomington, California. I guess let's take a few minutes and just chat about where they can connect with you online, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'll show the logo up close right there. BigJsSoCalBbq. And we're on Instagram. I think we're across all platforms. We went to Twitter, we went to Instagram, YouTube, and it should follow the same as you see the logo here, the BigJ's SoCal BBQ. And we're on Facebook also. And that's what the guy helped me do, Jay Elias, my counselor, make sure that we had all of that. And actually, in a couple hours, I'm still going through the process of they're helping me with another person and developing my website and my Google search, and putting me on that platform for my Google business account, which I've already kind of set up. And now we're about ready to launch the website, and take orders and maybe do some that search engine optimization. So I'm learning all this.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and seeing where it's going to go.
So tell us about Big J SoCal BBQ. What's your specialty? What are you guys known for? When, if I show up to an event and I see that Big J SoCal BBQ is there, what can I get excited about?
What you get excited about is we're trying to do what is called Southern California barbecue. Now, we could all have a 3-hour conversation and it leads to a fist fight at the end. But what we do is, we do grilling and we do smoking. But here we have the Santa Maria style tri-tip. That's what we do. And also, I kind of have my own thing. It's my California secret. Is the chicken I do is not exactly the competition. I do boneless, skinless chicken thighs, pre-marinated with my rub and then my sauce. So here is I'll do a brisket for 14 hours or pulled pork for, you know, however long time. And they said, hey, man, your chicken was awesome. You know, I'm like, man, I just spent all that time doing this brisket, which they loved.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, your chicken and your tri-tips on point. And then moving to the sides, we got the barbecue baked beans where I got my own custom recipe that I put in there. Finally learned how to get into my own rubs and sauces and stuff like that, you know. And that's where it goes. So if you were to get excited about what we're going to do, is the tri-tip and chicken is what we're all about, you know.
Tri-tip and chicken. And I heard you mention too that you've got your own sauces and rubs. Are those available for purchase, or is that the next phase?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. So right now I've been getting into the holidays to where we just got the hats all in. We got the t-shirts made, and yeah, I kind of got a rack right here to where we kind of got our own I don't know how well it'll show on there, but our own rubs and sauces. So I try to keep it with that Southern California vibe to where Grill Masters Gold is our all-purpose rub. We got our Cali Sunburn Sensation for kind of those people who like the hot. And then I got my Palm Trees and Poultry Perfection that's got some awesome secret ingredients in. They're just, you know, really good on the chicken. I guess everybody's really loving that.
And so the chicken, I want to go back to that because it sounds like chicken is one of your specialties along with the tri-tip. And chicken's one of those things where, you know, I wouldn't say it's a really exciting piece of meat to cook, right? It's chicken, right?
Chicken.
It's like you said, you know, you spend 16 hours on a brisket or, you know, a pork butt. And now people are like, hey, your chicken was great. So with chicken and you know, you talked about your marinade, you talked about your rubs. Now, so it sounds like you're grilling the chicken. You're not smoking the chicken. Is that right?
Yeah. So we're doing is, yeah, that Santa Maria style grill that we have. Got a big old 16-foot, just you know, trailer that the lid goes up and then the thing goes up and down. You could kind of regulate your heat like that. Sometimes I do put the tri-tip on the old Smoky Mountain Weber, put it on there to about a certain degrees, and then finish it off grilling on the Santa Maria style grill to give it kind of that crisp little bits and pieces on there, you know.
That's right. Get that direct heat cooking and get it crisp it up a little bit. You're exactly right. And plus get that flavor of the coals and the fat dripping on the coals. That's always a good combination. So so you've got the Santa Maria grill. So tell us about your setup. You've got the Santa Maria grill, and then you've got, I heard, did you say some Smoky Mountains, some Weber Smoky Mountains? Is that what I heard?
Oh yeah, I got barbecue country out here. You know, if you're a barbecue guy, I got the little one, I got the big one, I got I got two Camp Chef XLs for the pellet smokers to where I was a stick burner for years. And I was the guy who was like, you know, the Traegers, the this and that. But to kind of find out when we're doing a lot of food and we're doing, you know, 12 racks of ribs, that Camp Chef XL is a good you know, pellet smoker that I could kind of focus on everything else when I'm doing my offset smoker stick burner, when I'm putting the briskets in there and stuff like that. So I have a lot of little tools that I go to. I even have the Mexican you know, the plancha where you the Mexican grill where you come out and do the tacos on. So I have a lot of versatility to do different things.
So in terms of SoCal barbecue, it sounds like when you say SoCal barbecue, and I know you get a lot of opinions, right? You mentioned that earlier. You're going to get a lot of opinions, but when you say SoCal barbecue, it sounds to me like that definitely includes tri-tip. Is that right?
Yes, that's the main, what I'm trying to focus on. It's the first thing to say out there because, you know, respect. I've been to barbecue in Georgia, Texas, South Carolina, Kansas, you know, and I got to see all the different kinds of barbecues just traveling when I was young. You know, I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot, 330 pounds, you know, so I definitely enjoy barbecue. But then we didn't get a lot of respect for what we do. And the tri-tip was the cornerstone that helped us push forward with, hey, this is California barbecue, you know, and so say it's grilling or like that, but hey, some people say, you know, barbecue and hamburgers is barbecue and you're just throwing on the grill. So we all have our different opinions and different pits and different styles. So I'm just trying to put forward what we consider, you know, our Southern California has some Mexican influences in it, you know, with some of our spices and stuff like that. So I'm trying to just put forward what I grew up on and tried to show to the world.
Now, have you ever, one thing I have noticed, I've seen kind of a trend is, doing tri-tip brisket style. Have you given that a shot at all?
It is, yeah, that's what I'll say. I'll smoke it on there for a little bit, and then finish it off on the grill. I've done it,
Yeah.
and you get a nice smoke ring on it. But other than that, it's not really that fatty piece of meat because I pretty much trim all the fat off on it when I do it.
Yeah.
Get rid of that silver skin, and that way my rub applies to it and really adheres to it and gives you a nice, awesome flavor. So I have done it and it is good, it is good, but I'm trying to stick to the showcase the Santa Maria style grill.
Now,
Now,
are you? I'm guessing you're probably a medium rare kind of guy on that
oh
tri-tip.
yeah. Yeah, we wanted to, 135 right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's obviously everybody likes their own thing. I'm a
Mhm.
medium rare, maybe rare kind of
Oh
guy.
yeah.
I know some people are more on the well done end. Hey, to each their own, right? That's not really my thing, but to each their own. So, you touched on a couple of things in terms of your business growth. You talked about how, you started small out of your house, worked with the SBDC, got some great advice, got some great mentors, and continued to, elevate your game. Coming into 2024, what's in store for Big J SoCal BBQ?
So I just got a list together where I put forward to get some sponsors, and I've already got some good hits with that to help me out to help hit the barbecue circuit. To get out there, I've done some barbecue, the backyard one, and so I've committed to 4 competitions this year: March, April, and I think at the beginning of June and the end of June, to kind of hit the circuit and kind of put that little squeeze on me to see how good I could become, but also interact with the other barbecuers, and talk to them, and see, what they're using and what's going on, because the catering seems to be going, so pretty good. As much as I need and as much as I want is where it's at, so which is awesome for us. And so this year coming up, we love those corporate events. I love the residential events also. But I just want to make sure we could get in there. And I've hooked up with I did the Slap Your Daddy barbecue for Harry Sue.
Yep.
I did his class, and here I did barbecue for 8 years. And just taking that 1 day class, it just shows you how much you don't know, which was a good
Yep.
thing. What I could learn, what flavors are out there, what is someone else doing that I'm doing that, that could improve, and kind of steal their stuff and their little techniques you can, and then maybe trying to integrate them to make your, the tri-tip or this or that just a little bit better.
You're exactly right. I mean, I think, you know, no matter how much you've done it, you're gonna learn something in those classes, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a 1 day class, 2 day, doesn't matter. I mean, making those connections with other people. And like you said, you could be doing it 8 years, you could be doing it 28 years. You're gonna learn something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's one of the things I encourage others that are wanting to get into the barbecue, no matter what they want to do. If they want to do competitions, if they want to start a business, take some classes.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are that there's classes, especially if you're in a major metro area. Chances are there's classes that aren't too far from you. And if you have to drive, again, I'd encourage you to do it because, again, like you said, you did it for 8 years, and you
Yeah.
still learned a ton of information
Oh, it was
in just a
amazing.
1 day class. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. So getting into the competition circuit. So what kind of competitions are you going to be doing? Are you going to be focused on KCBS? That's the big one out there, right?
Yeah, there's KCBS. So I'm part of the California Barbecue Association out here, and hooked up with them this year, got my membership, and that put me on. You can see the different list of what's going around, and I kind of picked some that are close to my area: Riverside, Norco, Paris, and I think I'm gonna travel a little farther out to Indio just to kind of say, all right, let's do this. I've done one backyard competition before, and that was in Norco. And wow, no one talked to me the whole thing. It was a total disaster, just by myself, but I got to meet and talk to people because right after they're kind of done with the, hey, first place, second place, then I noticed a lot of people went and talked to me like, hey, we noticed you were doing this. And then we seen the kind of smoke you were doing out, and they kind of gave me some tips in there. So it kind of took the edge off that. I met a guy, one of the legends around here, the rib doctor. And I actually went to his house and I just seen his barbecue, and I just went over there like, hey, I'm a barbecue guy too. And I seen him at the competition, and it was like he was the OG, triple OG.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, somebody like that, the rib doctor, or even, like you mentioned, Harry Sue, those guys, for the most part, are going to be very willing to help you and share information, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what I think is really cool. Something that's pretty neat about the barbecue community as a whole. I was fortunate enough to compete out in San Jose in August, and met a lot of great folks out there that just were very welcoming, very supportive, and just a really, really cool environment. So, all good things. Like you said, you're going to learn something.
Mm-hmm.
So leveling up with some competitions in 2024. How about sauces and rubs? Any new additions coming in 2024 for you guys?
So that's what we're doing, the beta testing for the sauces right now, where I'm calling the sauce. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
get into that to where I've done some beta testing already and kind of shot myself in the foot because now everybody wants it. And so I did the rubs that we did were just like, they're brand new. We're just in the packaging. We got the label maker and we're putting them out there. And that's just kind of something that we really wanted to put forward. So other people that might not be able to make some of our private events could also access and go home. Because I said, I'll tell you all about how to do it, but the hard part is you got to do it.
Yep. That's exactly right. You got to do it.
Yeah. So coming up next year, we're getting the rubs going. Those are on ready for right now. I got a big old Ziploc bags full of, this one and that one and that one, and actually started selling some already. And the sauces are next. And we're just going through the right channels to make sure we got a right, nice flavor and that we could put out that people can enjoy.
I love it. A lot of stuff happening for BigJsSoCalBbq and Jason Hernandez in 2024. And, I think it's a really cool story that you shared early on in the show. You got into some trouble in the past, turned things around,
Yes, sir.
and found your passion. And I think, again, hearing stories like that just put a big smile on my face. And I think a great way to wind down the show, right, is to talk about some words of wisdom, right, from you. And I would really ask more about words for wisdom that you would have for somebody that is, struggling to find that passion and wants to get into, really, it doesn't matter anything. It sounds to me like you found a really, really good passion. So I'm wondering if you have some words of wisdom for folks that want to be able to find that passion, and then what to do with it when they find it.
Well, it's a whole journey, I went through. I had to deal with childhood trauma and, get into therapy. So that was a cornerstone that kind of led the foundation for me to be stronger and to keep going. So to people out there, what our past isn't our future. We've been through a lot of different things, and there's been the days where I didn't make any money, and I felt discouraged, but I kept going. Consistency. Just putting one foot in front of the other, whether it's buying pans, spoons, chafing dishes, little things like that. It all adds up after time. So if you do make a couple bucks, hey, put it right back into the business. Go to your local people. They'll definitely help you out with some t-shirts or something like that, or a banner. And we started off small with the little, the crappy easy up that flew all over and break, and those times come when you're on site and the bad stuff will happen, but you just learn from it. Try not to overwork yourself to where you get burned out. That I think would be a good one, because once you kind of step back and learn the medium of it and then just enjoy the barbecue, the rest will play out itself.
Yeah, that's a great point, and a great way to wind down the show. So he is Jason Hernandez. He's with Big J's SoCal BBQ. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, other social media platforms out of Bloomington, California. Mr. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Man, thank you so much. I appreciate it.